Super fun. All right, so let's go through this. The Dodgers have a lot of guys for X amount of spots, right? There are some very easy ones. Will Smith, and all of this assumes health.
Yeah.
Will Smith is going to catch. Freddie Freeman's going to play first base.
There's some other easy ones.
Teoscar Hernandez is going to play left field.
Yep.
Is there an easy one after that? Not who are they going to play, but where are they going to play?
So, and I know what you mean. I think based on the conversation we had just a little bit ago, Mookie should be an easy one in right.
Okay, should be, or when the playoffs start, where's Mookie playing?
Right.
I think so, too.
I think he's going to be in right.
I think he will be in right field. I think there's also a world that exists where he's in center field, but go ahead, yes.
Rojas at short.
I agree.
Should be an easy one, too. I think Lux is going to take second.
I really hope not.
Who do you want there?
I maybe him because there's not a better option, but I wouldn't be surprised if that were a matchup spot. You know what I mean? Where that is you got a left-hander going,
rotating.
It's Kike. You got a right-hander going, it's Lux. I think that could be one of those. We'll match that up. We're not going to do it. Who plays third base? Because that I think is the biggest mystery of all. Assume Muncy if Muncy's healthy, he'll play third base. That goes. But
it's a big assumption. Yeah,
he hasn't played in months.
Sure.
And Roberts, when he's talking about Mookie, when he was talking about Gratterall prior to yesterday, when you're talking about Kershaw, when you're talking about Mookie coming back after his injury, there was always this, he's going to be back and he's going to be ready to go. They were never really with that with Muncy. It's always, he's not making a lot of progress, that even if he did come back now, there's not a ton of time to get back up to kind of major league speed. Muncy's a big boomer bust guy.
Let's say Muncy's not there. Kike at third?
Probably, yeah. Because what are your other options? It's not going to be Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor just simply doesn't hit enough, although he hits maybe about the same as Kike.
Yeah.
What are your other options at that spot? Is it Edman? Right? Is he into the lineup? Is it Rosario? Could it be like all four of those guys competing for the at bats at that spot? Maybe.
So I think it's safe to say, I think second is more solidified in my eyes than it is in yours. Third, no one has an idea. And center.
Okay, I'm going to call my shot right now.
Sure.
And this could be way wrong.
What you said earlier?
No. Who I think is going to play center field?
I know.
I think it's going to be Kevin Kiermaier.
Oh.
Because if Mookie's in the lineup, Ohtani's in the lineup, Freeman's in the lineup, Smith's in the lineup, Teoscar Hernandez is in the lineup, and Rojas, who, by the way, was actually a useful offensive player while he was there.
No, he's doing good.
And Muncy is in the lineup. You can afford to have a guy that is not particularly dangerous offensively right now. If you have six really good guys, a seventh guy who's pretty good, and then an eighth guy who's doing enough, they have no... Pages is a mess in center field. Outman is not even going to be on the postseason roster. That's not going to happen. Kiermaier is a Gold Glove level outfielder, and unlike the course of a 162-game season where I need guys that can score runs, I need guys that can get on base, I need guys... Making a big play in the outfield can be everything. Making a big play anywhere on the field can be everything. And Kiermaier is a super high-level defensive outfielder. I know he doesn't hit at all at this point in his career. He had a couple of at-bats yesterday that were not particularly impressive. But I bet you, if he doesn't start, I bet you Kevin Kiermaier closes just about every game that the Dodgers have a lead in during the postseason.
Think about what we just said. I think... if you're depending on, when you get to the postseason, who are the guys you're really depending on?
The first 5 or 6.
And you're going to be in a spot and in a position where you're going to have games where you want to make sure your defense is solid, that it's not sloppy, that plays that are supposed to be made are made. Kiermaier,
that in a nutshell, Slee, the play that has to be made has to be made.
That dude, if you're upset at him because he's 8th in the lineup and he struck out with a couple guys on, I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's going to come down to Shohei, Mookie, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez. That's where your offense is going to need to come from anyways. What you can't have, and I think that's listen, I think ultimately at the end of the day, there are positions they got to figure out. If they have issues if Lux is struggling at second, if you tried getting too cute and Mookie's still in the infield and Rojas isn't there, like certain things like that, you can't play sloppy baseball in the playoffs, and that's interesting to have him there.
This is, I hate even saying this out loud, but let's assume there's a Game 4 because last season the Dodgers didn't get to a Game 4. But let's assume there's a Game 4. Who's on the mound?
Stone.
Ahead of Kershaw?
I think what we said a little bit earlier, and we talked about this before the show started, why not use them together?
Okay, who pitches the
Starts
first inning?
Yeah. Kershaw.
I think so too.
Yeah. Kershaw starts it. Let Stone
I think Clayton Kershaw gets the ball.
go as much as you can.
See what you
And
got.
If you're rolling through 3 innings, cool. If you're having some trouble and there's a lot of
I have a
lot
hard
of traffic,
time. I have a hard time envisioning them going somewhere not Kershaw in that spot, assuming that he's physically able to do it. Assuming that even if now, like let's say the rest of the regular season goes kind of like what we've seen so far. Good one, bad one, good one, bad one, good one, bad one. And you're just hoping, all right, I hope we get one of the good ones today, right? Because his experience, even though his playoff experience is obviously very complicated, his experience has to mean something, whereas a guy that Gavin Stone, who's not pitched in anything like that, give me the guy with a little gray in his beard.
and there's a little bit of the difference of if you're pitching Game 4, you're obviously not expected to get us off to a 1-0 lead.
No, get us to the 4th inning.
Game 4 is there's a reason why you're pitching Game 4. Go look at other Game 4 starters in the playoffs. A lot of that's going to depend on what did your first 3 starters do over the first 3 games. So I'm saying that it's less to do on Kershaw. I don't think you're asking Kershaw right now, go win us a game, here's the ball in Game 4. Give us a couple of innings.
Is there a scenario where the Game 4 starter is Tyler Glasnow all over again? Let's say he wins wins Game 1, you drop the next 2, and the season's on the line. Or do you just try to get through it and give him the ball in Game 5? Keep in mind, they never used one of their best guys last year, Ryan Pepio, because they saved him for the next game, even though Lance Lynn was throwing batting practice to the Diamondbacks. Oof. How
many days rest does he go if he's going in Game 4?
3, probably, maybe 4. And he's, that doesn't happen very much anymore.
Can I have him available and ready, but not necessarily starting?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
If he's available and ready, why not start him? Right? This goes back to Game 7 against the Astros that year. Kershaw, after Darvish does not pitch well, Kershaw comes in and is really just like, what? What are we doing?
You're almost hoping Kershaw just gave up.
Yeah,
6 runs.
He's pretty good today.
Yeah.
Like maybe the game isn't I think it was 4-0 after 5-0 after a couple innings. It's like
okay, but what I mean is it never gets to that. It's hey, we're having problems getting out of the first inning. It's 1-0.
Why is he not in there in the first inning? If you're bringing him in the first inning, why is he not pitching in the first inning?
Yeah, it's a good argument.
Right? If you're going to use him, use him.
Mm-hmm.